Hello, all of my wonderful colleagues. My name is Alexa Rodriguez, and I will be presenting my poster on my proposed problem of practice for the completion of my doctoral degree at Baylor University in Learning and Organizational Change. Now, the focus and title of my research is Faculty Perceptions of the Role of Instructional Designers in the Online Course Development Process and How Their Perceptions Impact the Collaborative Course Design Experience at XYZ University, a qualitative narrative case study. Now, I am an instructional designer at XYZ University, and there is a dire need to understand how faculty perceive the role of instructional designers, as faculty sometimes appear to be reluctant to utilize instructional designers' skill sets, expertise, and the services they can provide, which ultimately benefit the design of the online course as well as the student learning experience. Now, there is some evidence that describes the role of instructional designers in higher education and the online course development process specifically, and how they can be a tremendous asset to the faculty subject matter expert in that process. However, there is little research as to the working relationships between faculty and instructional designers, as well as how instructional designers are perceived in this specific process by faculty. So the purpose of this qualitative narrative case study will be to discover and describe faculty perceptions of the role of instructional designers, as well as uncover how their perceptions may have an impact on their collaborative experience with an instructional designer during the online course development process at XYZ University specifically, as well as the factors that contribute to faculty subject matter experts demonstrating reluctance to collaborate. The theoretical framework that is guiding this study is a model of cross-cultural collaboration between instructional designers and educational developers or faculty subject matter experts in this complex process of designing an online course or any type of educational project. Here's a visual of 6 phases that support the development of any type of educational project. And as you can see, it's an educational developer and instructional designer process, and where each one of those parties fits and their role within those phases. And this model is guided by 3 principles. It's client-centered, project-focused, and team-driven. So these principles will be considered all throughout the study as I get the narratives from or have faculty describe their experiences through narrative form to determine if any of these principles were present during their experiences. The main research question guiding this study is, how do faculty perceive instructional designers and their role in the collaborative online course development process at XYZ University? There are 3 sub-research questions. How do faculty describe their experiences collaborating with an instructional designer in the online course development process? How do faculty perceptions of the role of instructional designers impact their collaborative experience with an instructional designer in the online course development process? And what factors contribute to faculty demonstrating reluctance to collaborate with instructional designers in the online course development process? There are 4 major themes in the literature. We start with the historical context of instructional design, all originating and tracing all the way back to World War II and evolving to the development of the internet and distance learning. The importance of the role of instructional designers is discussed, as instructional designers have an integral role in the online course development process and also bring their own vast array of expertise in addition to the faculty subject matter experts content expertise to produce a high quality learning experience or product. A faculty subject matter expert instructional designer relationship and intern dynamics is also explored, or what is known about faculty subject matter expert and instructional designer relationships is explored and discussed. Faculty perceptions of instructional design and instructional designers, which is actually the gap in our literature, there's not a lot known out there with faculty perceptions of the role of instructional designers. However, there is some research about faculty perceptions of instructional design in general and some common misconceptions of the role, as instructional designers are often misinterpreted, misperceived, and misrepresented, especially in the realm of higher education. My methodology for my research design, as previously mentioned, this will be a qualitative narrative case study. I will be conducting face-to-face interviews with the participants in the study via a web video conferencing resource such as Zoom. I will be recruiting and selecting participants using a purposive criterion sampling strategy and selecting 10 faculty participants ranging in years of experience as an educator, their status, whether they're adjunct or tenure, and levels of experience working with an instructional designer in the online course development process from beginner to intermediate and advanced. The data will be collected via one-on-one semi-structured interviews with each research participant, utilizing a semi-structured interview protocol that is developed prior, and the interviews will be conducted over the course of approximately 3 weeks during the spring of 2021. These interviews will be conducted via a web conferencing tool such as Zoom, as previously mentioned, and I anticipate that these interviews will last between 30 and 90 minutes. I want to give these participants time to dive into their or delve into their experiences to provide rich and thick data to be analyzed. Everything will be recorded, transcribed, and stored within a secure data management system. All of the data collected from the semi-structured interviews will be analyzed using the data analysis spiral approach and triangulation technique to gain an in-depth understanding of the data that was collected to address the research questions. The researcher perspective, like I had mentioned, I am an instructional designer at XYZ University, and my perspective reflects a social constructivist worldview. I hope to develop better insight into this phenomena of how instructional designers are perceived by faculty in the online course development process by listening to their stories, hearing their experiences, examining their perspectives and perceptions of their collaborative experience with instructional designers, and also the role of instructional designers and how it's perceived through a qualitative approach. And these are my references. Thank you so much.